Enlightenment on, we Jews have naturally wanted to play like everybody else, but it still doesn't come spontaneously to many of us. Our first novelist, Sholem Aleichem, evoked laughter that bled. Our most artful modern novelists and entertainers, Bellow, Roth, Chabon, Woody Allen, and Larry David, are steeped in mordant, moralistic angst. As a consequence, when we modern Jews do engage in play, we cannot just play. We take play as seriously as we take everything else in life. This point was made to perfection in the 1981 film Chariots of Fire, if you've ever seen it. We try, but we don't really understand activities that are ends in themselves. Even when we choose to be funny, it is humor with the bite of moral judgment or self-loathing. Above all, we're not used to playfulness when we argue. Ideas are not something we juggle with for entertainment or mere admiration of others. We don't boast the crystalline sparkle of an Oscar Wilde or a William F. Buckley. We take pride in the gleaming tungsten of Spinoza and Norman Podhoretz. Ideas are not just important to us as they are to others. They are a matter of life and death. We have been tolerated because of ideas, hated because of ideas, and decimated because of ideas. We still await the idea that will make us lovable. So argumentation is seriously, existentially serious work for us, not a test of acumen or a gotcha political game. After 3,000 years of continuous intellectual vigor and an equally long tradition of an internal dissent over our destiny, we are trained to go for the jugular in debate. Our style is typically confident and aggressive, even belligerent. We seethe with special contempt for fellow Jews who disagree with us. Forbidden to use physical violence against them, we have become expert in savage internecine denunciation. When I look back over the body of my columns and note the topics that have sparked first my curiosity and then my compulsion to make a bulletproof case against the prevailing opinion, I see a superficial diversity of themes, such as fathers' rights, political correctness on campus, abortion, addiction, Anglophone rights, domestic violence, anti-Zionism, and pit bulls. Under the surface, though, there is one binding theme, and that is the big lie. The big lie has become a kind of cliche by now. It was first coined with reference to the Jews by Hitler in Mein Kampf, in which he advocated for the use of a lie so colossal that no one would believe that someone could have the impudence to distort the truth so infamously. He correctly predicted that if you repeat even something unbelievable often enough and loudly enough, the gullible masses will buy it. It may therefore seem pretentious and even inappropriate to apply the phrase to my niche subjects, except, of course, for the anti-Zionism-inspired Holocaust inversion and Israel apartheid big lies, whose potential consequences are too dreadful to contemplate. Nevertheless, in every subject that has aroused my writerly passion, there is at its core a theory, an ideology, or a racial imperative that in turn promotes a lie sufficiently baleful to withhold the constitutional rights of an entire class of citizens, ruin hundreds of thousands of fathers and children's lives, blight neighborhoods, quash freedom of intellectual inquiry and freedom of speech, deny tax-funded services to victims of violence on the basis of sex, and privilege the state over parents in the guardianship of children. As a member of a people for whom the big lie is no abstract idea, but an eternally present threat to physical survival, I know a big lie when I see one in all its irrational ingloriousness, even if it is not so colossal as to end in a massacre of innocents, only the massacre of democratic principles, although, in the case of pit bulls, the unnecessary actual killing of innocents. And when I see it, I feel compelled to make the case against it, as if, in fact, my survival depended on it. Perhaps it is because my life has been so privileged that not a single one of the harms or injustices I write about has ever befallen me, that I feel especially bound to pay my luck forward as aggressively as I can. Okay, I'll stop there.